For some of us, being a part of car audio culture has been an absolute thing there and have come through many different versions or iterations is Memphis Audio. But I must say, in recent years, there's been a fresh energy, not only in products, but innovations as well coming up from this 60-year-old brand. Today, we're going to dig a little bit deeper when it comes to Memphis Audio and car audio. We've got their president, Nick LaMonaco, joining us, and this should be an absolute blast. This is CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM, all about Memphis Audio. And it starts now. And welcome to another episode of CMA Connected. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Joining us today is Mr. El Presidente, Nick LaMonaco of Memphis Audio. What's going on, Nick?
How you doing, Ben? Glad to be here.
Well, I hope so, because we got a lot to talk about. We're talking mobile audio, car audio, whatever you want to call it. And Memphis has certainly been a big player in this category for 60 years? Did I get that right?
Yeah. Celebrated our 60th birthday last year, so it's been a minute. A little bit before I was born, but we're definitely evolved a lot in the last 60 years for sure.
Yeah. And I think that word evolution is definitely going to be a theme in our conversation today. Um, we're not going to, I mean, there's a couple cool new products we're definitely going to touch on, but I really want to get into the whole culture of Memphis Audio today. It's a brand that everybody recognizes. It has a deep, it's deep rooted into car audio as a whole. But in the last, I'm going to say 10 years, there's been a lot of evolution, a lot of new ideas, new categories, new technologies. So I want to dig into some of that. Like, since you've taken the helm, let's look from a presidential point of view. What was your mission? Where did you want to go with it? And have you gotten there?
Well, I guess to start, I mean, I come from the cardio guys that started in this industry because they had a cool system in their car. I couldn't have a cool car, but I could have a cool system. And so now that I'm in my 40s, I kind of am still into the same things as I was back then. So most of our guys are too. So I wanted to take this where what's the cool thing that we could build today? Like do give my 17-year-old self, make him proud by going, hey, that'd be really cool to build. If I had the ability to build it, would I do it? And so I'm trying to make him proud by bringing out some really cool stuff that makes me as an older car audio fan just as excited as someone who might be getting their first system or upgrading their entry level system to the first real big system that they had. So that was kind of my goal is bring back the passion to the product and the product development, and with that bringing lots of new ideas both on like patents and technical ideas and innovation, as well as just cool stuff like, as I've mentioned a lot, LEDs and cool designs and cosmetics, but really focus on just cool car audio stuff that's gonna sound good, it's gonna fit in the right spot. And we're not exactly perfect at everything we do, but I think that we're getting close to where I want to be, where everything is highly engineered, everything's got something cooler than everybody else, where you can also look at it and go, that's a pretty awesome looking sub, or those speakers sound incredible. That was really my goal, is just kind of go back to teenage me with the first system I had in my car.
Well, I think you succeeded in many of those things that you just said. That's a big checklist of I guess nice goals to have, and we're going to review some of those a little bit more in detail. So, one comment I want to make about Memphis is I feel like if I look at the current catalog, we're in 2026. You've checked the boxes as far as the places that we say car audio, but it's gone so many different places, right? Like motorcycles and marine and power sports and so on and so forth. So I think as a company, as a brand, you've done that. Today we're going to focus on the mobile audio side, and one comment I want to make, Nick, was your stuff still has a little bit of old school feel to it. I see a lot of other high tech brands that are gone to that small footprint, super minimalist kind of design. I find that Memphis has fun with it. I see you're wearing that 250 shirt. You're loud, you're brash, you're not scared to do some really outlandish stuff. So talk to me a little bit about why that is.
Well, I mean, I have this conversation with even some of my friends that aren't in the car audio industry. And at the end of the day, I tell everyone that works for me, every salesman that works for me, we sell fun. I mean, we're selling speakers, we're selling music, we're not selling doorknobs or toilets. I mean, you've got to have a doorknob and a toilet, at least most people do. But you don't have to have a loud sound system. Quite honestly, you don't have to have speakers in your car. But when you do, it just makes driving and being in your car so much more awesome. It makes a bad day at the office completely turn around when you play that jam just screaming in your car. So, we really want to showcase that. So, and speakers often go in your doors, you don't see them, but you maybe see the amplifier. And we've got small amplifiers that fit under seat, tons of power. We've got that solution, but we've also got the big, flashy, bright orange, and even last year with limited edition, bright gold and diamond encrusted amplifiers to show off the
You guys heard
fun.
that right. They actually do have amplifiers with diamonds encrusted into the amplifier. Check it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt you there, Nick.
No, but I mean but that's it. We're selling fun. So I mean,
Yeah.
we could make everything sleek and hideaway, and we have those options. But quite honestly, we sell more of this stuff where someone go, hey, check out my amplifier. Check out that amplifier in the trunk. Like check out those subs. They're not just hiding there. They're screaming. I got a Memphis sub in addition to screaming loud bass. Like people don't wear Jordans and then wear covers over them so you don't know you have them on. People want to show off what they have, and when you've got a cool Memphis system, why would you not want to show it off? It's being showed off audibly, so why not show it off visually as well? That's kind of our thought.
Well, it's obvious that you're not alone in that thought. You're doing very well. You have a great following, and I want to touch on some of those really popular products. We're talking mobile audio, and the PRX line is kind of like the go-to bread and butter. Like it's a deep line, tons of speakers, tons of sub options. This year, you've actually revamped the really popular enclosures as well. So, how important is that line for Memphis, and what does it mean to shops that sell it, and maybe to the person that's installing a sound system for the first time?
Well, the power reference line really is, I guess that's just like the roots. It's the base of Memphis, because the PR speakers, they've been like our top selling products in our lineup forever. Our Memphis dealers love selling those speakers because they sound great. When the customer gets them in their car, they're completely happy and they never break. So it's just a great speaker to have. But if you look at the cosmetics on the PR speakers and subwoofers, they've got the big black on black M, so it's loud and proud without being overly flashy. But it's letting you know, hey, I like Memphis audio, and I've got this sub, I've got these speakers in my car. So that's the PR really is. It's like the starting point. If you're a Memphis customer, if you're a Memphis dealer, at some point you've either had PR in your car or you're gonna have PR in your car, and you're always just happy when you've got a PR sub amp or speaker in your car. So it's really it's the basis of our line, and we're proud of it, and we hope that continues forever.
Right. Let's dive a little bit deeper at those new enclosures because I saw they look nifty, and you're claiming some big improvements in performance.
Yeah, yeah, we did. We knew again, PR being our bread and butter. When we redid in the enclosures, we wanted them to really, really rock. So we changed from a side port to a front port, a complete box redesign, and getting just about a 6 dB gain from the new enclosures compared to the last on the dual. So that's a huge, huge improvement for those of you that don't know. Basically to get 3 dB more, you got to double the power. That's how you can do that with I guess the layman's term or the easiest way to do it is if you got a subwoofer doing that's a 500 watt sub, you give it 250 watts. When you give it 500 watts, it's roughly going to be 3 dB louder. So it's a big improvement to get that much louder out of an enclosure. But then on top of that, we added some really awesome cosmetics around the port, and I've talked about it now. I'll talk about it again over and over again, and they come with LEDs. So I mean, with my scientific background, I always say it adds 3 to 6 dB of output. So you're getting almost 6 dB on the dual from the product redesign, and then another 3 to 6 dB with the LEDs. You can't complain with that. I mean, we went big on the redesign,
At
is what
this
I'm trying
point
to
on
say.
CMA, we know the spiel. We know about the lighting. It's it is what it is. We'll leave it at that. But they do look great. Um, one final thing, and this is going to kind of lead us to the last part of this part of the conversation. The new PR enclosures are also including Memphis's patented flex technology, isn't it? That I mean, that's an important deal. Take a second to talk about how important that is.
Yeah, our flex technology is awesome. I mean, I personally, obviously a little bit biased, I think it's one of the biggest innovations in the history of the industry, to be honest, because I mean, I've been in this industry professionally for over 20 years, an enthusiast when I was a kid, and back when I had no money, uh, if my friend gave me a subwoofer or give me a new amplifier for my sub, back then I didn't even know what Beats was, but you might get an amp that'll do its power at 2 ohm, and I got a single 4 ohm sub. Well, I can't even use that, and that's always been a problem in our industry. We've had a customer will want to buy something, and they have the one sub left is the dual four, and they needed the single four, or the salesman sold the wrong
Right.
one for the installer. So it's a huge problem in our industry, and so we wanted to solve what we did with our flex technology. We now have subwoofers in the new PRX sub. You can take a jumper and plug it in three different locations on the sub, and it changes from 1 to 2 to 4 ohm. And that is unprecedented. And like I said, one of the biggest innovations in the history of our industry to allow you to take one subwoofer, and no matter what amp you have, it's going to work.
So amazing thing about that, I want to comment on that. If you own a store, you can already start connecting the dots. How cool that is from an inventory standpoint, right? You don't have to worry about what impedance, whether the sub or the amp. It doesn't matter because with this solution through the Flex technology, it's adaptable to any scenario. If you're a consumer, you're an enthusiast, and you're like, you know what? There's this amp that I always wanted to use, but it only runs 2 ohm mono or whatever the configuration is. Don't worry, the Memphis subs, Flex technology, adjust it, and it'll optimize that amplifier regardless of how it performs or what the specs are. So if you guys don't know, make sure you check out. Nick's got a whole workshop about Flex technology. It's a fantastic feature that Memphis has come up with. All right, listen. We talked about PR. We talked a little bit about you and the vision and how Memphis has really evolved over the years. We're talking to Nick Lamonaco, the president of Memphis. After the break, we're going to come back and talk about 4 little letters that mean so much to Memphis, and that is, of course, MOJO. We'll be right back after the break.
Hey, Paul with SiriusXM here, and with 3 easy steps, you can maximize your business. Number 1, make sure you have the current promotional material up. Understand the offer, make sure your team knows it. 2, have a unit on display. Set the presets to different genres so you can recommend and play the music that your customer listens to. And number 3, think about this. Most vehicles you're replacing the head unit with already has a SiriusXM tuner in it. So adding it just requires an antenna adapter, a SiriusXM tuner. It's a 30-second install and you're done. So there it is, guys. 3 easy steps to maximize every sale this season with SiriusXM.
All right, Nick. Listen, the next part of this connected show, we want to get into a very important element and product offering that has a big following. And it means a lot because I think this is a big brand for you guys, and it's called the MOJO line. Now, MOJO has taken on many different forms, and we're not going to break everything out. But like MOJO represents the very best. Like it represents high output for me. When you look at a MOJO, like I always go and look at the MOJO 8 because it's one of my favorite drivers. It looks so good and it performs so well. It looks like it means business. So I guess my first question to you is, how well is MOJO doing and how important is MOJO to Memphis right now?
Well, as you kind of said, Mojo is the best of the best, and it's known as one of the best, and especially for Memphis. So a lot of times, Mojo and Memphis sometimes are synonymous, and it's been a part of our line for so long. And the new Mojo probably means as much or more to our line than it ever has because we've taken new school technology, the most up-to-date technology in creating the most badass subwoofer, and just giving a lot of love to the past heritage with regards to the look and the cosmetics and a few of the old school technologies that we've rolled back into this version of MOJO. So like you said, I mean honestly, when we launched the new MOJO to about 2 years ago, the first 12, I didn't even open the first pre-production sample until I was with like the crew, because when I opened that box, it was like I was 17 again, opening up my first subwoofer that I bought retail. And like we opened it up and we all were just like kids in candy stores, like, holy crap, that is awesome. And a lot of our customers have had the same reaction the first time they saw it. So it really is our flagship sub. And we're very proud of it, and we're very proud of the performance, and we'll stack it up against virtually anyone in the category. So
Listen. The custom orange basket, the big old magnets, the high roll surround, the carbon. I mean, everything about it, it's awesome. Exactly like you said. So what about the haters? I want to ask you that, because it's like, oh, Memphis used to be output back in the day, this new MOJO one. Like, how do you, for the record, feel that the MOJO stack up to the competition in this kind of like high output category?
Well, honestly, a lot of the time I have to kind of hold my tongue, or in my head go, grr, and I hear someone, well, these aren't as good as the old ones. If they could A/B with our old ones, mine would be blown away how much louder, how much more output you'd be getting out of our current MOJO compared to anything we've ever done in the past. Those were great subs in the past, but that is old technology. And for those of you that know, technology's come a lot of way, especially in subwoofer. It doesn't seem maybe visually that it hasn't, but different formers, different voice coil temps, etc. There's a million different ways to cool it. Progressive spiders, the thickness of the surround, the moving mass, a million different things that we've learned over the years on how to make subwoofers awesome. So this new sub really does stack up against anyone. If you want to compare apples to apples in similar power and similar size, I mean, we're going to be as good or better than virtually everyone out there. And we've had a lot of haters, hate on us, and then they've tried one and they go, well, my bad. I'm not a hater anymore. So we're very proud of the new MOJO lineup, and we're working on some different sizes now.
Hold on. So right now, let's lay it out for the folks tuning in. So I'm always going to talk about the 8 because that's kind of like my favorite one. But let's lay it out. If you're into that high output kind of sound, what do we have as an offering right now in MOJO?
So right now we have our MOJO Mini, which is our 8. That's the sub that we put in our truck boxes that everyone can't believe that there's 2 8s in a truck box. They're blown away once they hear it. There's no way. That's got to be 2 10s, 2 12s. Nope, it's 2 8s. And then we have our fully redesigned, brand new 15-inch, and then the 12 that we launched about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So in the MOJO line, we have an 8, 12, and 15. A lot of people ask me we don't have a 10 because no one wanted a 10. We had a 10 in MOJO back in the day.
Who cares about the 10 when you have the 8?
No one cares. If you can fit a 10, you can fit a 12. We're talking about output here. We're not talking about we're not talking SQ. We're talking SPL.
And then maybe a new size down the pipe. Is that what you're saying?
There may be a new size. We're working on a couple of. We're maybe working on the new 8, revamp the 8, and then
8. Why are you touching the 8? There's nothing wrong with the 8, Nick.
Because you can always get louder, Ben. Why would you settle on awesome when you can be super awesome?
Fine. I'll let you be. Now, hold on. You touched on something I want to make sure our listeners know. Application-specific truck enclosures is another thing that's kind of like a hot item right now, and the Memphis one's absolutely freaking. I mean, I've heard them; they're crazy. Talk to us a little bit of what are some of the newer applications that people should know about.
So we recently launched a new Dodge box, which is pretty sweet for 02 to 18. So a lot of vehicles on the road. That can take this box, and it ships in 2 pieces, which is pretty awesome, because it is a giant box.
Yeah, and they're huge. Yeah.
And with that, we're able to tweak the tuning a little bit to get us even a little bit more output. So it drops in that little cubby under the seat and just absolutely slams. So just like I said, we try to do little variations to improve the product. I mean, we had a winner before, but it was a big box to ship. So now it's easier to ship, and we're able to improve the output a little bit. So that's really what we try to do with everything we do. We don't just like to reskin it. We try to make it look cooler always, but of course perform better is our goal every time we come out with a new product.
So make sure you check out the application specific truck boxes, especially the MOJO ones. Those are the ones to look at for sure. Last item that I definitely have to touch on because your very loud shirt has been staring at me for the last 20 minutes or so. Yes, America is celebrating its 250th anniversary, but Memphis wants to be a part of that party. What can you tell us about this new limited edition America 250 series?
Well, yeah, America is celebrating our 250th birthday, and of course, no offense to Ben, but I feel it's we feel it's the greatest country.
How is that
So
offensive? How is that offensive? I don't even know. I don't even know.
just because I love Canada too.
Yeah, yeah. We love
But
US. It's all
so I
good.
mean, 250 years of the greatest country ever, and we wanted to celebrate that as well. It's this country allows us to make cool audio products, so we wanted to celebrate that. So as I talked before about PRB and our bread and butter and the base of Memphis, we've got some really awesome limited edition PRX product. We got a 1,000-watt, the PRX 1,000-watt mono, the PRX 500.4 4-channel, decked out with stars and stripes screening on the top. The blue LEDs shifted to red, white, and blue LEDs on the amp. And then we have a really awesome, the new PRX 12 with a stars and stripe Memphis logo on the dust cap, and of course LEDs, and really, really, really beautiful product. And we're taking some of the proceeds and donating it to a military charity as well.
That's amazing.
Because it's super cool. And, we're not loud and proud bragging about that we're doing that because we want to do that. It's not really part of the selling feature. We were going to do it no matter how many we sell, but we're going to sell all of them pretty quick. We've already had
and these are limited, right? Just to be clear, these are limited edition. Okay.
Yeah, limited edition. But if you're a Memphis fan and an America fan, which probably most Memphis fans are America fans that live in America for sure. But they look really awesome, and they definitely make you say America, hell yeah.
Cool.
While sounding great in your car.
Amazing. Let's wrap this up. We went all over the place, but we really wanted to touch down on a couple key points that are kind of like trending right now as far as Memphis audio goes. We talked about MOJO. We talked about technology like the Flex technology. We talked about PR, which is obviously bread and butter. You just mentioned a limited edition series celebrating America 250. So make sure you guys check that out. I guess at the end of the day, what I really wanted to ask you is, circling back to the beginning, Nick, Memphis has been around for a long time. You've had to evolve. You've had to adapt with the changing trends. But one thing that you've kept, and I think it's really clear with this conversation, is the heritage of having great sound, but also being fun at the same time. Beyond that, what message do you have for any dealer that might be interested, or even, maybe it's an enthusiast that's like, man, I haven't put me a Memphis system in my car since I was like 19. What message do you have for those people?
Well, I mean, I travel a good bit. I'm in and out of many shows, consumer shows, dealer shows, in dealerships, talking to consumers, talking to dealers, and from where we've been and where we are now, the delta's huge. And so, for a minute, we were known for having a great mono amplifier, or having big MOJO subs, and, maybe some studio speakers back in the day, or various different things. But what we are now is, like you said, we're an audio company that cares about innovation, that cares about having the best product that you can buy, while also going, hey, we also want it to look the best, and we want to have fun while we're doing it. So if we're talking car audio, I feel personally, and again, I'm biased, I feel that's the best way to be. I want to look good, I want to sound good, and I want to feel good. And who doesn't feel good when they've got their favorite song blasting in their car, to where you got the windows down, the system up, and you look over and someone's looking at you and you just nod and go, I know it sounds good. I mean, what's better than that? And that's how we like to be, all the time. I rarely, unless it's raining, my windows are down. I mean, I've never had a factory system in my entire life, so I don't know what it's like to be that boring.
Right on. Hey, Nick, thanks so much for coming in today. Listen, Memphis Audio, the catalog is deep. If we're talking car audio, even the car audio catalog is deep. But I do recommend you head on over to the website, memphiscaraudio.com. Check out the new products. Check out the MOJO line. Check out the PR line. Check out everything, because A, it's got LEDs, and B, they look cool. And like Nick said, it's guaranteed to be fun. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wood. Until next time, we connect.